Hello, I'm Faye Waterman, the Conversation Curator, and my guest today is Jacalyn Price. And Jacalyn is an author, an entrepreneur, and a business owner. Welcome, Jacalyn, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Faye.
Now, Jacalyn, let's share a little bit of your background before we talk about you becoming an author, an entrepreneur, and a business owner. So what sort of things did you do prior to starting what you're doing now?
Well, I worked in pathology at the hospitals for over 25 years, and then an injury at work put me out of work for another 15 years. So I ended up in wheelchair, crutches, a long time. When I started recovering from that, I tried to go back to work. They don't want to know you with injury, been out of work too long. So I started looking for other ways, started doing some business coaching, some courses with other coaches, and that led me into entrepreneurship, doing some work on online courses, business courses, and it just sort of kept progressing to find out what suits. And then I went to an overview with ACN and I thought, well, this is simple. Everybody pays bills. If I can help everyone save on their bills, that's an income on the side for me and to help my family as well. So that's where it started with ACN.
So what does ACN mean?
All Communications Network. Because we're in 27 countries, every country has a different type of service and a number of services. So we call it All Communications Network. It covers all the countries we're in.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. So what sort of things do you help your clients with?
So I get them to send me a copy of their bills with electricity and phone bills, mobile phones, internet. If they'll have to travel, ask them where they want to travel, when they want to travel, and work out the best way to join our Truvy club. That way, when they travel, they can book through our Truvy Lifestyle Club and have the savings there. Because when I had the awards night in Sydney, I saved 50% on the accommodation for 2 nights. So it is a big one. Yeah, it does. Depends on where you travel as well. And we've just launched Honey Insurance for home and contents. So that's also a free quote. It only takes 3 minutes to do a quote. And then Honey will follow up with the person and say, what else do you need? Is it a business or a home? And they can just add to it if needed and still have a potential saving on that cost as well. So it's amazing. Everyone has to pay bills. Everyone loves to travel. Everyone wants to save on their insurance.
That's quite amazing. I mean, at the moment, the gas bills and the electricity bills are kind of increasing quite considerably.
Yes.
And it's coming up to winter in parts of the country. And so therefore the gas bills will go up, the electricity bills will go up. So how do you work with people and their gas and their electricity bills?
So we'll look at where they live, and we have 2 providers for electricity and gas. So I'll do a quote on either one and see which one suits best for where they live, and then just do that comparison. Say, look, this provider will suit you better. Would you like to go with them? And I just assist them to do the transfer because there's no contracts anymore with anybody.
And that's a good thing, isn't it? That there
Yes.
are no contracts. Then you talk about the internet, and there are lots of different providers for internet, and they do vary in price.
Yes.
And you get locked into them for 12 months or whatever it might be. And prices increase. How do you work with those sort of people, those businesses?
So often they'll say you're locked in for 12 months at that price, but after that time frame, that can change a lot.
It goes up usually.
It does, yes. And like with ours, we'll let them know ahead of time. Like costs do go up, but not comparison to some of the other providers. They're increasing like 50 to 100% in costs. It's just crazy how much things are going up.
And
Unless you buy
families.
like a mobile phone on a contract and then have a plan with it. Usually there's no contracts with your NBN or your mobile phones.
Mm.
But if they're on a contract with their phone, I'd say, well, just keep paying your phone off, and I'll put you on a plan which suits you better. Because one lady was paying her phone off, but she was paying 125 a month for her plan. I said, what do you use? I said, I don't use my internet at home because I have NBN. So I put her on a $20 a month plan, saved her $100 a month on her plan.
Mm.
It's crazy what people put them on they don't need.
It's interesting, isn't it? And we're not aware of it when we actually do these deals. And I'll say deals because you can go on a contract for your mobile phone, and you might purchase a new phone, so that increases the price per month.
Yes.
But then your actual price for paying for the service that they provide to you might be a special for a period of time, and as you said,
it's usually the way
it will go up after that. And if you're not aware of that and you start getting bills for X amount of dollars and you're thinking, what the hell's this for?
Yes.
It's not a very pleasant thing to see.
Most people don't read the fine print, and they don't often disclose it. It might be written on paper, but they don't say this is only for 6 months, then you have to pay more. They won't tell you that, or very rarely.
So we've covered electricity, we've covered gas, we've covered mobile phones and internet.
Yes.
So what about the travel side of things? Now, how do you save money with going through your organisation to book holidays?
So Truvy Lifestyle, it's a travel club. So you purchase, there's 3 packages to choose from depending on how often you travel. So if you want to, you have discounts on your flights, your accommodation, cruises, like hire car. And then on your top package, you build up credits as well for your hotel credits. You build up cruise credits. And they'll do the comparison. If you want, say, stay in accommodation at a special hotel, go through Truvy, they'll do that price comparison and say, this is what we can offer you, this is what the others are offering you, and we can save you a certain percentage. So, okay, I'll just go with you and book that accommodation.
So you do all the research, you do all the hard work. If I said I wanted to go on a holiday, wherever it was, you would do all the research, get the best prices, get the best accommodation,
Yes.
get the best costs for hire cars, because hire cars can be very expensive.
Yes.
And flights as well.
Yes.
Wow, that's
so if you travel a lot, you're better off going with the top package because that gives you even more discounts again. And you can choose either monthly or yearly payment, and you even save even more on a yearly payment. So once you've chosen your package, I'll say, well, where do you want to travel to? When? And what do you need? Do you need flights? Do you need accommodation? Do you need hire car travel? And we'll book it all at the same time. So once you're ready to go, everything's booked, ready to go. And we have our own travel consultant as well. You don't have to go through other travel consultants. It's all done by Truvy.
Right. And travel insurance and that sort of thing's available as well?
That's covered with most of that too, depending on what you need, but you can discuss that with Truvy on your needs.
Right. And you've got travel consultants that will talk to you about what
they'll talk to you about that as well.
That's fantastic.
And then if you're stuck at an airport, you just go into the VIP lounge and wait around. If you get flights cancelled, you let them know and they'll get you ready on the next flight suitable.
Right. So they can organise it. So you don't have to worry about a thing. That's fantastic. And you also said home and content insurance. Talk to us about that.
So it applies for the homeowner, the unit owner or apartment owner, and the property investor. So depending on what you have. So if you don't have a current policy handy, just go to my website and say, this is what I need, put in where you live, and it's an automatic thing that shows up where you live, the value of your place, and I'll give you an estimate of what you want. If you want to increase like the coverage for contents only, or if you have house and contents, and they'll give you a valuation on the house, depending on what it's valued for, like a replacement value. And they'll say, this is what is valued at replacement if something does happen, and this is what we can offer you. And if you want to discuss, if you run your business from home, you can take out a bit extra running a business from home. Some do, some don't. So they'll just discuss with you any other extras you may need along from your first quote.
That's fantastic. Any other things that you actually do? I know that you're an author, Jacalyn.
Yes.
Talk about how you became an author in the first place.
I was doing a course with Matt Morris. He's an entrepreneur and business owner, and he coaches all around the world. And one of his emails just said, "Would you like to co-author with me?" And I thought, yes. I've always wanted to write a book. I thought, how do I do it? But they walk you through the process. Took about probably 6 months roughly to get it all sort of sorted and out. So there's 28 other experts in the book. I'm chapter 1, and it's basically my life story, the struggles I've had, how I've managed to get through it, and how I can help other people get through struggles in life.
And you've had many of those.
Yes, I have.
Mm-hmm.
And I've just joined an authors group, and now I'm going with 3 other collaboration books. I've already booked in to start those, and I've started my first chapter in one of those as well.
Fantastic. Fantastic. It's good to be able to share your story,
yes,
so that people can see, you know, they might be going through a situation which is similar to what you've been through, not the same. But then they can say, well, I'm not alone.
yes.
You know, there's someone out there I can have a conversation with if I want to talk about the experiences, so you can share your experiences, which is fabulous.
And sometimes a simple worry about, will I do this or will I do this? Like at a networking event, I gave a book to one of our ladies. She's going into politics, and she's thinking, I don't know whether I will or not. Will I risk it? And she read my chapter. She said, I'm going for it. And she got in. So that
Good
gave
on
enough
you.
inspiration to say, I'll go for it. And she got in.
Good on her.
Yeah.
And I hope she does well. Woman
She's been
power.
doing really well, yes.
Woman power is what it's
Yeah.
all about. And the business owner side of you is with
ACN.
What else do you do?
Well, I have another business with Numi, and it's a health product. So my dad's been taking it for about 6 months now. It's helping with his mental clarity, his increased appetite, his energy levels. And he's talking now, like he used to be so quiet. He'll sit and talk for 10 minutes. Like, is this dad? Like, he's 92 next weekend. And he's talking like going back in time, talking about anything and remembering birthdays and names. And I thought, wow, Dad hasn't been like this for years. Like when we lost Mum, he just shut himself down, like coming up for 5 years. He just shut himself down. He just didn't want to talk much. But now,
And that's Numi's made all the difference to him.
It certainly has.
Fantastic. And you take Numi as well?
I take it as well, and I have a lot of customers that take it, depending on what areas of your health you need. But it does help, like all the networking I do and all the problems with what's going on with Dad, just helps you focus even more and more mental clarity. You remember more. Your energy levels are a lot better, and your appetite's a lot better.
Are there any other secrets that you have as far as
I've done
running
lots of things through my life. I was an apiarist for many years. We had over 100 hives, and I learnt artificial insemination of the queen bee.
Oh,
And I never knew that was possible, but we went to Gatton College with a specialist up there, and there was probably a class for about 30 of us, and we thought, wow, you don't realise what you can do, until someone shows you.
And you come from a farming background, don't you?
Yeah, I was on a farm for about 30 years with family. We had cattle, we had chooks, we had bees, and I still work. I just did this part-time,
And you worked in pathology and dealt with
Yes.
people's bloods and things like that. You would have
Yeah,
seen interesting things along the way in pathology.
hematology and blood transfusion. So we just got the blood ready for operations and, look down the microscope, diagnosing things, and then you get the specialist in once you find something, and they look at it as well and do more tests. And it was all shift work, and I did permanent night shift for about 5 years before I finished up, and it was just really good. Night shift gave me more flexibility to do things I wanted to do at home.
Thank you, Jacalyn, for the information. And I think if anyone wants to know about how to save on their power, their electricity, their gas, their phone bills, their internet, if you need home and content insurance, or you need to go on holidays and you want to save on accommodation, flights, travel, then get in touch with Jacalyn. Jacalyn Price, who is an author, an entrepreneur, and a many business owner of many businesses. So thank you, Jacalyn.
Been a pleasure, Faye. Thank you for the opportunity.
I'm Faye Waterman, the Conversation Curator, and I'll be back again soon. Bye for now.